Hey, 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 it is Women's History Month here on a Vibrant Mix, and we are talking with another history maker, Miss Renita Gholston of Renita Fitness. Now, Renita is a bodybuilding champion, fitness expert, trainer, trained in multiple dance disciplines, and has been a backup dancer to the stars. And in her spare time, she's a police officer with the Chicago Police Department, and she's here to chat with us about what she does and her upcoming fitness dance party on the 31st of this month. Welcome to the show, Renita.
Hi, Tasha. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you so much for being a part. Let's just kind of jump right in. Who is Renita Gholston?
Oh, who is Renita Gholston? Well, Renita Gholston is, I would say, a 54-year-old mother of two adults. Been around in the fitness industry for a little bit more than 30 years, and competed, married a couple of times, but I'm still trying to get it right.
Listen, I've been in your spot. I get it.
Right, exactly. I'm not giving up on it, and I love fitness basically, and that's who I am.
Excellent. So tell us, what got you into bodybuilding and fitness? How did you come to fall into this realm?
Okay, well, I got started. I came out of high school, and I felt that I was overweight. I wanted to get started in working out, so I joined that many other old school people that got started in exercises at the old Chicago Health Club on 95th Street. Okay. And I got started there coming straight out of high school, and I didn't have anyone to teach me the correct way, so I just kind of watched the guys working out. And I got started there. This was in 1982. Okay. And, 1980, when I came out of high school. And I started training, and my first competition was in 1982. And I got started based on this guy was like, in the gym, like pumping me up. Hey, you should try it out. Try your first show out. And that's kind of how I got started with being committed and consistency of training. And I placed second in my first bodybuilding show.
Wow.
And and came back later the next year because I was determined and trained even harder and won the show. And it took off from there. So it started from being overweight, actually. It started training.
Wow. Okay, so that you kind of decided, okay, well, look, this is not what I want to do. This is not how I want to be. Let me figure something out, and it turned into a lifelong passion.
Actually, that's exactly what it was. When I went into the gym, I didn't have a clue. I just said, you know what, I want to do something different. I want to do something to occupy my time. I was overweight in high school, so I didn't even have an idea where it was going to take me. But that's where it went.
Excellent. So what was it like for you being a woman in bodybuilding?
Well, especially back then, it was definitely a man's world, and definitely not a woman of color being involved with it. So it was kind of like getting through the fact that, I'm in this gym with a bunch of guys. I'm learning, and of course, the guys in the gym, they had other motives, but my motive was to learn. So I got started there, but once I started competing, like my first show, I was always in competition where at the most there was never, I would say at the most, another black woman. So it was always me in the show, and there was no other women of color. And I was very determined that, I got to be the first. But it was definitely a struggle trying to get there.
Okay. Did you bond with the other woman of color, or was it kind of, we're just going to kind of stay here, keep a distance? Did you forge any friendships? I mean, you all were the first to do it.
Well, yeah, it's like whenever I did see another woman, there's a couple of times throughout the years of me competing that I met other women, and I would say on one hand I can count them, but when even if we walk down the street, we see one of us, we're like, hey, how you doing? I've always bonded with other women, especially in that arena itself. I have bonded, and that may have had something to do as far as me furthering my career in it, because I felt, as far as having some type of bond with women of color, and I don't just necessarily mean women, black women, African American women. I mean generally women of color.
Right.
I felt that was my connection. Outside of fitness, it was a little difficult, but in fitness, I always had a connection with women of color when it came to that. So that kind of motivated me to continue with it.
Okay. So it was you said it was a little difficult outside of the arena. How did people treat you in general when they realized, okay, this is a bodybuilder, this is someone who is in fitness? Were you treated any differently? Why was that difficult?
Well, yeah, I was treated differently. I would say that outside of the women of color in the industry, I was treated differently. But outside of the industry, I mean, you know how women are. They figure like, oh, she thinks she's better than someone else, or she's uppity or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I got that a lot outside of the industry with women of color. It was the obvious in the industry outside of women of color, if I can say, But with inside the industry, I really bonded with them with no problems, and I think women as a whole, I always felt like we should come together, if not to uplift each other, to motivate each other. So I'm still battling with that outside of the industry, but it's coming along because, especially in our town, Chicago, a lot of women of color know who I am and they know what I'm about. So they know I come in here with a heart of gold with this. There's anything more than that.
Great. Now, you're a police officer. Did your fellow officers treat you any differently, or were they supportive when they realized, oh, well, she does a lot of things, and obviously being in shape is integral to a position like that. How did they react when people discovered you were?
Well, I've been competing since '82, so and I've been teaching also fitness. I've taught fitness, personal training, group fitness classes. So I was pretty popular in those areas here in the city, mm-hmm. and in the competition outside the city. So as far as the department, a lot of people knew who I was and what I was about, and how serious I was about what I was doing. But you do have people who have some other motives or perception or assumptions on and off the department as to who you are, and and that's okay. I think it comes with every career goal. Career path that you take. You can be a school teacher. You're gonna have some issues there. It depends on who you are and what you're about. I've always been outgoing, but it comes with the package. Or excuse me, with the program. So I don't think it's per se who I am. I just think it's just how people are.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Every situation you will encounter people who doubt your sincerity. So I understand what you mean. You started out as someone who was trying to get herself together. What kind of advice do you have for beginners who are looking to tweak or even start their fitness and health routines?
Well, I would suggest that some people, and even when people come to me to train at my gym, a lot of people are like, you know what, I'm ready to do this, let's go. And they look at the whole big picture and they want to attack it. And I would say just take one day at a time. If you just take one day, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, if you just take that out of one day, I guarantee you the next week, if you gave it 5 the first week, your body's going to ask for 20 the next week. Mm-hmm. So you take baby steps. You know, and also find out what it is. What is it that you're looking for to get out of it? Because everyone is not looking to get muscles. Everyone is not looking to lose weight. There's some people that need to get away, and I can also recognize things and like that because I've been down that path through domestic violence. Right. So you can find other ways. You find, you may go into it, which that was part of it also. You can go into it as far as, hey, I just need to get out the house. I have a test tomorrow. I just need to clear my head. And go at it for that reason, and then find out later on, wow, I can compete, you know. So you just take baby steps. Don't bite off more you can chew because you'll get overwhelmed because a lot of things comes with it. You're going to get sore. I've had women actually go to the hospital because they're not used to being sore. So they thought something was wrong with them.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, you know, you just have to take baby steps. I mean, I tell a woman who has never trained before in her life, you know, take 2 days and give it 10 minutes. And I promise you, you're going to get better and you're going to upgrade. You're going to get further. You're going to get more motivation from there.
Great. You mentioned domestic violence. You help victims of domestic violence. Tell us about that.
Well, I would say that first of all, with that it was in my family, my parents, my grandparents, and I guess as far as parents and grandparents, I didn't have the best teachers of the best direction or what's right is what's wrong, what's not good is what's bad, because my parents went through that. Mm-hmm. So I married into that, not even realizing this was the bad thing for me. I thought it was just something that when I went through it, I thought it was me. I need to get myself to make myself better, do what, you know, not say so much, not doing enough to make it better. So I did all those things thinking that, you know, it was always me, until one day it got to a point where it got really bad. I mean, I don't know how much, you know, it's good to say on radio or whatever, but it got to the point where I was beat so bad but beat so bad and raped that I felt that, you know, this is not where I should be, but I didn't have the direction or the help from my family because we all grew up in that type of background. But because I went to the gym, I was the only one in my family that was going to the gym, working out. And again, I didn't go to the gym to work out because I wanted to muscle. I just wanted to lose weight. I just came out of, I was just coming out of high school, going to college, and I needed something to do. But I found that going to the gym, working out, training,